this, the final four. JD Atkins running the 00, Rowdy running the 18, Pendle running the 42, and Just Ken running the 08 in tonight's final race in Xfinity at Auto Club Speedway. Hi again, everyone. I am Crusader here with my good friend and colleague tonight, Dirt GBX. Dirt, it has been an incredible season, and I think talking with your colleague last night, Ken, on everything that went on, I'm expecting great things tonight, but definitely a track that is well known for many ways to pass and many ways to put on a show. Would you say that?
Oh, definitely. One of the cool things about Auto Club is it kind of has an effect that a lot of other tracks don't, and that is as the tires wear, you actually do change up your line quite a bit. So when you're on fresh tires, you're going to see a lot of these guys diving towards the bottom in the turns, running down low, and then as the race progresses under green, a lot of those guys are going to move back up towards the top and try to get the slingshot maneuvers around the outside and make their overtakes that way, and it's pretty fun to watch.
Absolutely, indeed. And I think, honestly, the thing about this track, too, is that we've noticed is that you can really make it 3 wide, 4 wide, or even 5 wide at times if you're lucky. But, I mean, the biggest thing is that there's not really a specific way you need to hit this track or run the track. You can hit the high and you can hit the bottom line, and there is a run in the middle if you need to. So I feel like tonight these guys are really going to be pushing the outer limits of these cars and this track to its fullest. So I definitely can't wait to see how how these four drivers and our other drivers will fare tonight. This is going to be something, I think.
I agree, and especially when you have these four guys that are, some of the best in the league going for the championship. There's not it's going to be no holds barred, just all out door-to-door action. It's going to be great.
All out door-to-door action, and with that said, guys, let's get this on. The last race of the season is underway. Let's head it down to the track and see how these final four and their fellow contestants will do.
Now, Crusader, who's your pick for tonight?
I'm going to tell you right now the same thing I told Ken. I'm not picking any drivers. That Broadcaster's Curse is still alive. I know Ken picked me last night, and I think ThePottles mentioned me last night, not on last night, but on Sunday to win. But I'll tell you right now, man, I'm not picking any drivers because if that was the case, that was a freak show, so I'm not picking. But who would you say looks to be the best in your case to win?
It's tough to tell, man. You got a lot of... looks like they're doing a manual pace lap here.
Yes, so what they're going to be doing is they're going to let the top four drivers up to the front, and those drivers will once they're up in the front, we will then have a manual start at the line, and that's how we will run this race.
Interesting. That's a pretty good way of making sure the title contenders are up there in the clean air and they're able to do what they need to do without any interruptions. That's pretty interesting.
Absolutely, indeed. And looks like we are short one driver here tonight. It looks like Just Ken could not make the call. Not sure if he failed pre-race inspection or what's going on there, but unfortunately Just Ken does not make the call, so it will be a three-man battle for that win tonight. You're getting a good look real quick at the number 42, no shift Pendle, or Pendle as we're going to call him. He does not like being called pit or shift, so we're just going to call him Pendle. JD Atkins in 00 there, get a good look at him. Big Smoke will be running that 00 here for this race. And Rowdy Silvers in the number 18. Very, very awesome looking camel-styled military car there. He's definitely going to be running that. He's ran that the entire season, and it looks hopefully to put it in victory lane tonight. I don't think he's actually won an entire race this season, so what a way to go out if he can win here on this track.
That would be something. He's been fast all season. He just hasn't quite had the pace to close it out. But Pendle, he's been winning races and running consistent, so it's going to be tough to beat.
And here we go, folks. Get into the restart zone. Green flag high in the air. It's time to go green here for the Xfinity Series final race and the final race of Season 5.
Outside line didn't get quite the jump I was expecting them to. Rowdy's going to drop back a few car lengths there. Now it's a battle between the 00 and the 42 as the 00 is making a strong move on the bottom.
Number 7 of Hubby looking down low as well. Number 5 of ThePottles, the Throttle. She's always been on pace with these guys each and every week out. It looks like she's going to try and get one tonight. She definitely is going to go for it here. She has not won one race this entire season. Meanwhile, Hubby in the number 7, he has won a truck race earlier this season, right as we were getting to the final closing stages of Michigan. So he's definitely a contender and definitely a proven champion on these tracks and in these leagues.
Absolutely. Looks like the 7 might have made a little bit of contact with the wall there, but he gathered it up.
Gathered it up very nicely. The Battle is up front for the lead. E.D. Atkins in 00. And Pendle in the number 42 battling it out right now. A little bit of side-by-side action down the back straightaway here. 00 going to go in turn 3 with the low line in his sight. Pendle looks like he's going to try to bring him back down. Not going to work. Here comes ThePottles, the throttle, and the number 7 of Hubby. It's a battle for the lead here. Anybody can take it here coming out of that turn. The draft is crucial here, so it's going to be interesting to see how these guys fare as we get through these laps.
Absolutely. Looks like once the 42 got pushed to the high line, he fell back a fair amount. He's going to drop down to 3rd. Now we're about to go 3 wide almost there with Rowdy and the 5 car there with 42. That was quite interesting.
Indeed. Hubby actually holding his own right now against the proven commodity of Pendle. Pendle, remember folks, even though they have yet to pit and put their adjustments in, Pendle is a proven champion on this series and on this in this league. But you can never count out the power of the throttle in the number 5. Even though she has not won a race this season, she's still been tough to beat on any track. And here comes Rowdy in number 18. He looks like he's going to try to fight back and get back up in here, trying to get with the leaders and try to make something do of stage 1. But remember, you do not have to win stage 1 or 2. You just need to worry about stage 3. Points don't matter anymore here. You just need that win.
Oh, the leader goes into the wall.
Leader into the wall, Atkins as well, and Pendle is spinning in the back stretch there. Caution not called out, so it looks like it's going to be a new leader here as Follows the Throttle takes it.
And our current championship leader is going to be the 18.
Yeah, that's a big one too there, yes. Number 18, Rowdy has gone up front. And right now, Pendle, I advise him right now, I'd just be thinking, just save your tires and save your car. Just get back in at stage 2. You got plenty of time.
Absolutely. It's still early in the race. They could easily make a comeback.
Get an overhead view here. You can see how far up Pottles is going. Looks like Rowdy's going to take the bottom line. Great show of sportsmanship from Pottles. Looks like she's going to let Rowdy do his thing and race his race. He is in the contention. But right now, look at this. Number 7, Hubby, getting a little bit of that draft on Pottles. Looks like he's trying to make a move on her and take away 2nd place from her.
A little bit of door rubbing there, but that's all right. He's making that move down to the low line. Looks like he's going to get it. He's going to get clear. Number
2, Naughty Milk does. He has yet to win a race as well, but he is definitely still a proven commodity as well for every time he's been on the track. It looks like he's going to try to give a little bit of a battle to Hubby and Pottles as they go a little bit side by side now down the back straightaway here out of turn 2. Going side by side with Pottles there, gets around her. Now going to battle out with Hubby, trying to get that 2nd spot. Whoa, we got trouble in the back area there. Pottles and HD Nightster, the number 35, got loose with one another. A little bit of rub and got a little too hard on that backstretch into the wall. They managed to hold out, though.
That was a good save on both their parts. I mean, I tell you, Duds kind of came out of nowhere in that 2 car, but this is one of his better tracks. And I mean, I've raced here with him quite a few times, and it seems like this is definitely one of the places where he's able to make some pretty good moves. I mean, he's just got the line down for this place.
Well, what would you say is the best line to hit in this case? Like, well, what if you were out on the track right now? Like, what would you be wanting to hit? Where would you want to go? Like, that would be my question to you.
Well, turn 1 and turn 3 are a little bit different. For turn 1, I'd want to drive it in as deep as I could while still comfortably apexing the corner and just getting down on that white line before drifting back up. Turn 3 and 4, I'd want to stay more towards the middle of the track and kind of keep that momentum without scrubbing your tires too hard.
Very interesting strategy indeed. That's pretty much about what I would be doing too. The biggest thing for me though when I'm running is I always try to find like a balance between having a fast line but then having a backup line in case I get in trouble with somebody or someone tries to take my line from me. But this track, it's very interesting like you said there. But the thing is, if I was running this right now, I would probably be trying to hug that wall on the back stretch and the front stretch as much as I can, if not the bottom line on the front stretch. And as I go into the turn, I'll try to go halfway from where I'm at on the back stretch to the front stretch and then go straight down to the bottom, hold the line, kind of feather the throttle a little bit so that way it holds out. And once you hit exit, that's when you really want to push that car as hard as you can to maintain control and grip, but also get the acceleration down. So I think that's going to be a crucial factor for some of these guys as they are hitting the bottom line and the middle line, each with varying success. But so far, so good for everybody. As right now, the number 18 looks to get a little bit more ahead from everyone another as he's taking the lead. He is the top 3 contender, so he's looking to get that win in tonight.
Absolutely, he is starting to set sail. The double O car, JD Adkins, he's starting to make a little bit of a comeback. Remember, he was involved in that wreck early on, and now he is fighting for that 3rd position with that 7 car, Hubby.
Big Smoke's not going to give up anything. He says one thing's clear. All I had to do is follow the dang train, CJ, and I'm going to get there. So Big Smoke right now looks to get into the train that is known as the W train and get that win in here tonight at Auto Club. But right now he's got to work a little bit to do here because he's got to get around Hubby. Then he's got to find a way around PTM ThePottles, and then he's got to figure out a way to catch up to Rowdy. Granted, I don't think we have to worry about the stage because honestly, at this point, Rowdy looks like he's got the stage all but locked up. It's just a matter of trying to get to the end here. So let's see how it goes.
Doesn't want to see any yellow flags. He wants this thing to go green.
Go green, stay green, and leave me alone, please.
Exactly.
For those that are just now tuning in with us on YouTube here, thank you for tuning in first off. Second off, if you're just now watching us for the first time or don't understand what's going on right now, this is the very final race of Season 5, and it just happens to be for the Xfinity Championship. Right now, the drivers you see right here, number 18 of Rowdy Silvers, he is going to be Hot Rod Rowdy, I should say. He is currently in the lead, and he is actually one of the only 3 drivers that can win tonight and win the championship. The other 2, No Shift Pendle here, or Pendle as we'll call him, number 42, currently got into a little bit of a wreck earlier, still fighting his way up though, trying to get back up there. And JD Atkins, Big Smoke in the 00, he's definitely also going to be up there trying to fight his way in stage 2, but right now they're just now finishing up stage 1. I think they only have about 2 or 3 laps left here. We'll give you a lap count in just a minute here.
We're currently on lap 13 out of 17, coming to 14 this time. Very good.
See, this is why I have you in the booth. That way I can focus on the action. Meanwhile, you do all the boring stuff for me, so thank you. Of course, and folks, for the record, we are 6 feet apart. Don't worry, we're keeping it good in the booth here. We're not gonna get anywhere near each other.
I'd wager to say it's a little bit more than 6 feet, but
what
I never was too good at math.
It happens. All right.
McCarthy making some moves in that 23 car, getting to the inside of Hubby there.
Number 23 of McCarthy, man, what an incredible season she has had in the Truck Series and honestly in the Xfinity Series. She's been a contender. She's been fighting her way all season. She just hasn't caught that break yet. But early in the season, she had won her very first championship race at Eldora in the Truck Series, and man, did she have some tough challengers to go in there to win that night. And man, I can tell you, she was the most excited driver in that building. There was nobody that was more happy to get that win than her, and full credit to her. And I'd still say at Sunday, if she was the fastest driver, she just caught a few bad breaks and couldn't quite catch me that night. So, my gain, I guess, but I honestly still think she was the better driver that night, and I'll stick to my guns on that. So
absolutely a solid driver.
Absolutely indeed. Looks like JD Atkins, a Big Smoke in the 00, trying to make the high line work with the number 7 of old Hubby there, trying to see if they can get a draft going. Looks like Hubby's trying to find a way down low. Couldn't quite get around in turn 1, going into turn 2, trying to get past McCarthy yet again, but McCarthy holds her line and holds it out, staying in it. Currently, JD Atkins, Big Smoke, is trying to get back up there. He's currently 3rd right now, with PTM ThePottles in 2nd, and of course in 1st is the lone wolf, if you will, Hot Rod Rowdy. He is just absolutely running away with stage 1 here as we come down to our final lap. Across that finish line here, 1 more lap to go. I'll say this over quick, Dirt. Note Pendle, man, from where he was at, he's been pushing that thing and catching up a little bit. He's not too far off, so I'm curious to see how he does once he's got the adjustment in and he's got everything set up for stage 2.
Oh yeah, he's not out of it yet. Not even close. I mean, he lucked out getting involved in an incident when he did. I mean, stage one, you got the whole race ahead of you. And knowing him, he's pretty savvy with the pit setup adjustments. He's going to be up there.
Absolutely, indeed. And as we come across the finish line here, we get a good look at Rowdy coming across the finish for stage one. But again, folks, stage one, it does not matter. You don't get points. You don't get a win in. So you will have to work your way up in that second stage and win the final stage if you want that season championship. And the only 3 drivers tonight that can do it is that 00, Big Smoke, J.D. Atkins, Pendle in the number 42, and of course Rowdy and the 18, as we said before. Those are the only 3 drivers tonight that can win.
Do we have an in-race reporter for this race?
We do not tonight, unfortunately. I had to fire my boom mic guy because he wasn't quite doing what I asked him to do when it came to getting the right sensors and all the audio equipment done in the car. So we ended up having to lose Mike for that. So thanks a lot, Mike, for messing that up, Mike guy. Anyway, moving on from that. We do not have. We've had all season long, for those that are curious, we've had folks that were in the cars themselves, and they would actually talk with us about how they felt and how they were doing and kind of how it was going in the track. So we don't have that tonight, but that's okay. For these 9 drivers, I don't think it'll matter too much. We're going to see how they do here in stage 2 as the green flag flies high in the air. Once again, we got ourselves a battle up front as ThePottles, The Throttle, and Hot Rod Rowdy will be to battle.
Now the outside got a better start that time than they did before. It's kind of looking to me like they might be able to make something happen if they can stay together and draft. But it's going to be Pottles clearing into the lead as they almost fan out 3 wide behind her. And here comes Rowdy with a big run out of the corner. He's going to come down low, side draft right up against that quarter panel, send it into the corner. They're door-to-door for the lead with the number 2, Naughty Milk Duds, sailing not far behind. He's in the catbird seat if anything were to happen up there.
We got an on-view real quick of McCarthy as she tries to make her way up to the front end here. But look at this. Pendle has now risen to the top line. He is starting to fight back here, trying to make it work on that high line. Looks like he's going to try to catch the draft off Pottles, The Throttle. Naughty Milk Duds, number 2, fighting as well. He's trying to get into that top 3, if not a win tonight. But remember, he's not going to get a season championship out of it. So,
well, I don't think there's anybody the 18 wants in his mirror more than that 2 car, because those guys are friends off track, and I know that when it comes down to it, if that 18 car needs a push, the 2 is going to give it to him.
As always, well known in our league, there's a lot of great friendships and a lot of great families made in this league. But when you're on that track, I don't know about friendships too much. I think, honestly, when you're out to win, you're out to push each other to the limit. But you know what? If a little push helps, then it helps. But honestly, I got to believe that Pendle's going to have some help, too, as well as Atkins if he needs it. So,
oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. And they're going to go 3 wide into the corner, almost 4 wide. They were 4 wide for just a second.
They were 4 wide for a second here, yes indeed.
And Pottles was right in the middle of it, holding her line, doing a good job keeping a steady wheel. They're going to come into 3 and 4. It looks like chaos, but it is controlled chaos, I assure you. And Pendle's going to dive way down to the apron. And it's going to stick. Right up to second comes Pendle on the 18's bumper. We got a battle for the lead.
Pendle went to the old White Castle restaurant and grabbed some sliders and threw them right at the 3 drivers of Atkins, Pottles, and Hubby, and manages to steal one from them. And look at this, Pendle now going down low, out of turn 1 into 2, looking to take the lead from the bottom here of Rowdy. Out of the turn 2, here they come. Pendle holds the line. Rowdy as well, side by side in the back straightaway. No draft here, it's just all about who can outrace the other. Down turn 3, Pendle gets the run, but Rowdy is there still. And there goes Pendle down on the bottom. He takes the lead from Rowdy.
What did I say about 7 laps ago? Pendle's not out of it. Here he is.
I'm not saying anything. I told you earlier, there's a reason why I don't pick anybody when we come to these races anymore. And there's a reason why I don't count out Pendle and I don't count out any of these drivers. Anybody and everyone can make moves and really make it work. And tonight, Pendle is doing just that, with Rowdy just trying to catch up to him.
Absolutely, and his car is looking a little bit faster now than it was in stage 1, so I'm thinking he got some good adjustments made, and he's feeling the car right now.
Naughty Milk Duds has a little bit of company here, coming out of turn 3 and going into 4. Pottles, The Throttle made the move from the outside, looking in, got down low, and took it from Naughty Milk Duds there in the 2. So now in 4th place will be a battle here as these two heavy hitters, Pottles and Milka's, will go at it. But meanwhile, up front, Big Smoke 00 has now caught back up to the leaders. He's trying to find a way back into this and try to get that win in. But remember, this is only stage 2. These guys are battling it out hard now. But just imagine once you get to that final stage, how much more aggression there's going to be between these 3 drivers right there. Once again, side by side, Naughty Milk Duds and Pottles going at it, just not giving up one another. But here comes one McCarthy in the number 23. She is now looking in. Sparkalicious in the number 90. He's also trying to get a win in. He has been absolutely heartbroken and had so many bad breaks this season. I think there's a guy that really just needs a win next season, if not tonight. It's definitely this man right here, Sparkalicious.
Yeah, he's had a great season, just horrible luck seems to take him out of races he's running well at. I'm going to make a bold claim here, and I'm going to say I think the 00 is the fastest car on track right now. He got up to Rowdy real quick, and he's having a little bit of trouble getting around him, but I think once he does, he's going to be challenging Pendle for that lead, and he just might take it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't count out Big Smoke, especially when he gets everything fine-tuned and ready to go. He is one heavy hitter that just cannot be stopped. One of the best drivers in our series, and also a long-time driver, well known for being fast and hard on the track, but he's very consistent too. I think that's one thing a lot of people forget, is that when he gets everything in there, he's a very consistent driver and can hit his marks better than a lot of people can when they first start out. But he's definitely right now looking to be a commodity as he tries to get up to the top spot and take it away from Pendle right now. But unfortunately, unless he can catch that draft a little quicker and Rowdy give him a little hand, Pendle is actually just kind of moving away a little bit more and more as they go on from here.
Now, something interesting to note, and I don't know if we were aware of this before going into the race, but it's looking like tires are a bigger issue on the long run than fuel. Their fuel run is a good 6 laps longer than what their tires are going to last. So I think on this final stage, after this one, once we have some green flag stops and the run's a little bit longer, you're going to see some interesting strategy play out. I think everybody's going to have a different idea of how long they should stay out and how much tires mean. Everybody's going to have their own strategy, and that's going to shake things up quite a bit.
I could say from running earlier when we were practicing and kind of getting everything fine-tuned, and just also for the booth tonight, running this track, like, you can get to the halfway mark of the final stage with your tires. However, I feel as though you lose a lot of momentum, a lot of speed after a while, and if you're not careful, you don't have those things tuned up well enough, they can get you all over the place.
Right, and it's almost like a domino effect, because the more your tires wear, the more your car slides. And the more your car slides, the more your tires wear. So it sort of compounds over time. And it's going to be interesting seeing these guys manhandle these cars around the track and try to keep them going in the right direction.
That old double-edged sword mentality will just get anybody and everybody if you're not careful. And I think, if anything, this track is well known for how tough it can be when it comes to that long run, as you said earlier. But I think, honestly, as long as we don't have a caution in that final stage, but the thing is that we've had a caution in every single final stage up to this point from the trucks and in the Cup, so I think we might have one tonight, but the way these guys are looking right now, I don't see that happening necessarily. They're driving way cleaner than anything, and they're just making this track look ridiculously easy. I think, in all honesty, that pit stop is now going to be even more crucial than they realize if they're not doing it.
Absolutely. And, I really don't think we could have picked a better track for a championship race for Xfinity, honestly. This track, like you said, they're making it look easy, but I can assure you to those at home, this is one of the more difficult 2-mile tracks in the game. There's a lot of different lines, a lot of different options that just aren't there on other tracks, and there's a lot of throttle control involved in both corners that, at tracks like Atlanta or Las Vegas, you just don't see quite as much of.
Absolutely, indeed. I think I kind of want to look at this track as like kind of a double. I've already said it's like a double-edged sword on how you want to run it, but like I've always kind of thought that this track reminds me a lot of a flatter surface Michigan, whereas like you need to have a good run from the draft or a good run from the backstretch, but your turns are extremely crucial. The only thing is that Michigan, not as long, is actually a higher bank as well, so it does make for more interesting spots to hit and in more interesting races. But to me, this track, since it's flatter, you do have the option to run up in the bottom and the top if you know where to hit it at. And right now, these guys are just kind of finding every which line they can, but you may also see that they are a little loose going in or out from entry or exit, because the fact is that because it is flatter, you don't have as much room for mistakes on as you do, say, like Michigan or Talladega.
Absolutely, and while we were talking, the 00 has taken the lead, so that is currently the championship leader with the 18 trailing not too far behind, and the 42 dropping from first to third. I don't know exactly what happened. It might have just been a little bit of a slip-up, a little bit of throttle control that he just maybe messed up, and he's still right there. He can still make it up, but I did not expect to see him fall back to third like that.
I mean, Dirt, I'm telling you, what did we just say just a few seconds ago? I mean, man, it's easy to make a mistake. It's easy to make a slip up on entry or exit. This track is flat, so it will make sure that you have to hit every spot perfectly and time everything just right. And Big Smoke just proved why you have to be a little bit patient, but also smart when you're running this track, as he takes the lead with 1 lap to go, with the final lap now here. As they come down the front straightaway here, it looks like Big Smoke and the number 00, J.D. Atkins, it takes stage 2, but now he's got Pendle right behind him, as well as Rowdy in that AT. That's going to be a heavy matchup right there for this final stage, and this is going to be where everything matters.
Absolutely, and something interesting to note, as long as the running order does not change under this pit sequence, which it might, but if it doesn't, this is going to be the first time all race long Rowdy's got to start on the inside, which has been the power position so far. Seems like the bottom line has gotten the better start every time so far, so that could be good for Rowdy and maybe a little bit disastrous for Pendle.
If you had to choose now, would you still say J.D. Atkins looks to be the fastest of these guys right now? Or do you think maybe the Rowdy might have a little bit more, or maybe Pendle, obviously he's always fast, but do you think he maybe can just put a little more into it right here, right now?
I mean, it's real close, and it's you know, when you got these guys so close together in scale, and also, you know, with the draft and the arrow push kind of keeping them in line, it's hard to tell, but I still do think the 00 is the fastest car on the track. I think he just got that slight edge on everybody else, and I think as long as he just restarts on the pole here for this stage, you're going to see some really impressive defensive driving from him.
Well, you heard a lot of routing right here, folks, but enough talk.
It's time to pull those belts tight one more time, buddy.
It's time for the final stage of Season 5. Here we go. The season championship is on the line for these Xfinity drivers. The top 3 are up there in position, and they're looking to get that one last race win, that one last big payday check. Tighten the belts, as you said before, Dirt, and put the pedal to the metal. Here we go.
And we got Rowdy looking to the inside, not going to quite get to his quarter panel yet. But now look at ThePottles. She's back up there. She's been running good all race long. Don't count her out just yet.
Battle for the lead still here as Pendle tries to get a little bit of a draft off of Donnie Milduds and that number 2 there. J.D. Atkins trying to hold off Pendle, going to the high line here, actually. Going back down low. Rowdy now still trying to keep Pendle away from that lead and keeping the draft with J.D. Atkins. Holy smokes already, guys. These are just going back and forth at one another, not trying to let up, not trying to make a mistake. It is going to be interesting to see for these next about almost 40 laps here, how they're going to be able to maintain the position and maintain the speed going into those turns and going into these final laps.
Absolutely. This stage is over twice the distance of any stage we've had so far, so we're definitely gonna see some interesting strategy, and you're gonna have to see these guys change up their style a little bit and kind of plan on, you know, staying out as long as they possibly can. So it's gonna be interesting.
Absolutely, Dirt. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, but like these drivers, when they can put on a show, and like a track like this is well known to put on a show. And as I say that here real quick, let's go back up front as Rowdy Hot Rod is giving a little bit of a push from Pottles right back up to the top with Big Smoke. They may go 3 wide here as Pendle tries to get in there. Pottles the throttle. She's now showing why she has that nickname, getting right up there with Big Smoke and the 00. Side by side, coming out of turn 3, going into 4. Rowdy looks to have a little bit of an advantage off the bottom line. Pendle trying to get the push and get back up there. He has the he has the bottom line as well. J.D. Atkins, Big Smoke still trying to hold off everybody there, and Pottles the throttle.
3 wide.
Get in there. Oh,
It is 3. It was 3 wide for a minute there. Rowdy is Gonna make a little bit of contact at the double O's door. They both stay straight. Here comes the 42. Is he gonna make it 3 wide, or is he gonna try to push? He's gonna make it 3 wide for the championship. 3 wide down the straight. 4 wide with the Pottles right in the middle of it. Wow.
Oh my goodness, going in turn 3, going into turn 4, still 3 wide. Look at this. Oh my goodness, Rowdy's still trying to hold on. Pendle and JD Atkins, they've got the run, they've got the motion, and they are pushing everything they got to the front. We're getting on board here of Hubby, just seeing these guys go back and forth with one another. Hubby now is in that spot as well, currently running for 4th. ThePottles still right beside him, though, as they go side by side for the battle for 4th. But right now, the big picture here, folks, is these 3 drivers right in front of you. JD Atkins in the 00, Rowdy in the 18, and Pendle in that 42, battling it out. Pendle will take the lead from Big Smoke JD Atkins. Oh my goodness, folks. Woo! We're not even anywhere near done with this race, and these guys are throwing haymakers and throwing punches quicker than Mike Tyson can dream of.
That was some fun racing to watch, I gotta say. I mean, 4 wide down the backstretch, and they didn't wreck. They kept it clean. I mean, that was massively impressive.
You saw a little bit of an error there from Hubby going down the front straightaway, went right into the wall. Pottles looked like she went followed right in suit. And now McCarthy in the number 23, she has made her way up to the 4th spot there. But currently still the battle right now up front. Look at this, Rowdy in the number 18 trying to get around. Ooh, a little bit of rubbing there from the 00 and number 42. Back and forth with one another. Rowdy trying to make it work. Takes second over. Gets the draft. Here they come down the front straightaway. Are they going to make a 3 wide yet again? No, not yet, my friends. Not yet.
I don't think the front of Rowdy's bumper has left the 00's rear bumper since they came out of turn 2.
That is a love story that I don't think even Twilight could imagine being. That's when you know they are in it together till the end. And look at this, as I say that, look at this.
3 wide.
3 wide, yet again, down the back straightaway here, folks. Rowdy in the 18, Pendle the 42, JD Atkins in the 00. Absolutely back and forth one another.
Oh, and the 42 is going to cross over the 18.
Trying to throw the slider. Here comes some White Castles. He throws it right at Rowdy and delivers. He says, how do my White Castles taste, Rowdy? I'm taking the lead over.
That was insane what Pendle just did there. He was in the middle of 3 wide going into the turn, dropped back a little bit, got down low, and then they were 3 wide again with him on the bottom. To the viewers at home, it is incredibly difficult to reposition yourself like that and make it work. And he took the lead doing that. That was insane.
Trying to even hit the bottom line on this track and going below that white line is like trying to find gold in a mine that has not been used, that has been already dug up and destroyed from 1900s. That's how bad it was, man. He just found gold and went for it. And somehow it stuck. An incredible moving there from Pendle. As you said, they're great driving, but yet again, this is not anywhere near the end of the race. These guys got still 30 laps remaining. And right now, Big Smoke and the number that was up there and the 00 there still battling it out with the 42 and the 18 and Rowdy. Meanwhile, back in the pack here, Hubby's still trying to get back up there with McCarthy and Pottles as the pack starts to kind of lean away a little bit. So the battle really is up front, but right now there's still anybody's race for the final 4 spots.
Absolutely, and the top 3 are starting to get a little bit more separated. I say separated, they're still close together, but this is the furthest apart they've been, and now they're, when they separate like that, they can get bigger runs in the draft, so I wonder if you're going to see any shakeups here coming down the backstretch.
You think maybe they're trying to like loosen their tires up just a little bit, but also kind of lighten up on how much pressure they're using, because if you use too much early, you can burn them up to where it gets you really loose, and that draft will not help you when it comes to burning up your tires. It's so easy to do on this track, especially.
That's definitely a possibility, and I've noticed Pendle for the last 5 or 6 laps has really liked going down to that apron in 3 and 4, which is a line that's really hard to run, and he wasn't doing it earlier on, so I wonder if there's a tire saving aspect to running that line.
I don't know about that, but look at this. JD Atkins down below, 00 just tried to pull the slider there, didn't quite get the car to stick, so no White Castles for Pendle in this case, as JD Atkins will now fall back. He was really trying to make a move there. Can't blame him for doing that, but Rowdy looks like in that number 18 is going to take that away from him. Now falls into second place, but it is still, with quite a few laps here, still 28, 27 laps remaining here. These guys just keep going back and forth with one another. You don't know who can take this one.
Absolutely.
A little bit of a battle here in the back. Number 7 of Hubby and 1 McCarthy, and number 23 battle for 5th, I believe. So the top 5 right now still have a little bit of competition. There's nobody who's giving up this spot anytime soon.
Not a chance, not a chance.
Well, I gotta ask you, Jared, this is your first time in the booth, or it's not the first time. This was your first time in the booth with us this season. Okay, this is the first time.
My first season in the booth.
Your first season in the booth, thank you. Look, I can't talk right now. The guys up front are wearing me down, but I gotta ask you, this is your first season in the booth. What did you feel, and how was it just all around seeing these guys go at it this entire season?
Oh, it's just been fun to watch. I mean, League's got some of the best drivers in the game, honestly, and you know, you're going to see these guys do things that you're just not going to find elsewhere. I mean, and Pendle is a good example of that. What he did earlier, going from being in the middle of 3 wide to being on the bottom of 3 wide, all in the same corner. You just don't see that in many other leagues, man. So,
I don't feel like many people realize, like, you said it earlier too, but like many people don't realize like how hard it is just to make a good league run, much less to have great drivers like this stick around. But good racing like this and great moments like this really are what make a good race and a good field. And these guys have nothing but respect for one another, and I gotta believe in the way there's a lot of love and hate that comes with it, because yeah, you love to be with them outside the track, but man, when you're trying to deal with them on the track and try to outdo them, you just hate it when like they get that little bit of boost and you just were like, man, I wish I did this or that. But can't help but love the fact that they still put on a clean race and a great show. I think that's something that a lot of people don't quite get and understand, how hard it is just to maintain and do.
absolutely. I ran part-time Cup this season, and in the races I did run, it was a blast, man. These guys, you know, you just felt comfortable racing around them because you were confident in their ability. You knew that you could run around them and not worry about, you know, people swerving all over the place or making boneheaded moves. I mean, it was just a comfortable environment because everybody is so talented that you know, it's going to be a close, fun race.
Absolutely, indeed. And that's one thing really that a lot of people, when you guys watch these folks, like these guys really do know what they're going to do and what they want to do. You know, granted, there are times like they'll do something completely different that they don't expect. Like they don't ever realize what they're going to do until it happens. Because, you know, even though you get to know these guys on and off the track and you see them race now, you know, there is a lot of knowledge on like how each one is, but the thing is that every now and then somebody will find a way to make something different, and when they do, it can throw them for a huge curveball, like what Pendle did earlier when he went from the outside to the inside of the 3 wide, went down low through the slider off the bottom on that line in that lane and made it stick, compared to what JD Atkins tried to do earlier when trying to perform what Pendle did to an extent, and it just didn't quite work out that way.
Absolutely.
Like I say, right now, going off of what I can see from right now in our live stream here on our live cast from my fellow drivers that were kind enough to show them our camera view, looks like a few of them are getting just about ready to hit the pits. So expect these 3 drivers especially, and everybody else, to get near the pits here in a little bit. Still got quite a few laps though as we come down, 22 laps to be exact. Dirk, I know I told you do all the boring stuff for me, and you do a pretty good job at it. So you mind explaining to me exactly how many laps they get in a fuel run?
Right now, Pottles has about 2 laps of fuel left, 10% on our tires. I do believe they get roughly, 24 laps on a fuel run?
About 24?
Roundabout there. I'll be able to tell you for sure once Pottles comes into the pits here and I can see the exact number. But going off quick math, just based off the stages and what they've done so far, because I can't see the lap counter right now. Pottles has the tire wear pulled up instead.
Currently, it's 21 laps remaining.
Okay, so yeah, it's got to be somewhere around 24 to 26 laps, and that does of course change depending on how much you save. And interestingly, it looks like Pottles is going to try to run that thing dry. When she comes into the pit, she's going to have a good 5% on that right front, and that's scarily close for me, man. I don't like getting them that low.
I'm surprised the guys up front right now have not pitted yet. It's interesting that they've They've ran so hard and ran so much. I think maybe that draft might have helped them out a little bit because currently they are still in the lead and maintaining position. So maybe they're going to hold out as long as they can, as we do get a glimpse of a few drivers going into the pits right now. Pendle and Atkins as well as Rowdy, they're still battling at one another right now. We get a good look at number 35 as well of H.G. Neister. We haven't mentioned him all night. I'd say next season, guys, be aware of this guy because in Truck Series he was really getting tough to beat and really getting harder on the track. So expect him to be something later on.
Absolutely. So, okay, the official fuel run is about 21 laps. And it seems like the championship contenders were able to stretch it a little bit further than most people. Although, wow, okay, so J.D. Atkins is the only title contender that did not pit that lap. Rowdy and Pendle both coming in that time.
That is, I don't know what Atkins is thinking there. I think he's just trying to get one more lap on them so that way he can try and outdo them. But I don't think that was a smart idea because the thing is, if Pendle and Rowdy can get that draft figured out, that's going to be crucial for them down the road because that's going to get them better off than they would have been, together.
Absolutely. That's going to leave the 00 with no draft help. And it is a 2-mile track. It's not a plate track, so maybe some of the viewers at home don't realize. But being in a pack here still will take your lap time down by a good 0.4 of a second every single lap being in the draft. It helps a ton. So Pendles is going to beat Rowdy out of the pits by a good 5 car lengths. That's pretty interesting. Rowdy might not be able to get within his draft, although it might be in both of their interests to try and link up intentionally so that they can get the one up there on the 00. That's what I would do if I was in either of their shoes, but hey, I'm in the booth, not on the track, so.
Well, currently J.D. Atkins is now back in the pits here. We get a good look up front as, Pendle did get a great run off that and that restart. So Rowdy actually has now going to come up here to the front straightaway here. I'm not sure where Atkins is. He's currently still in the pits. You better hurry it up there, man.
Here comes Pendle and Rowdy.
And
Pendle has cleared the end of pit road, and that's, oh my goodness, disaster for the 00. That's going to be a good 7 or 8 seconds on track.
You get a look right there, folks. That's how far they just went past him there. That is Rowdy up ahead, and now Pendle is still up in the contenders booth here. He's currently leading and out. Pottles as well trying to get back in this a little bit. But the battle is now for the lead as Pendle just got a huge boost and maybe a little bit of a confidence boost while you're at it. Taking the lead away from Atkins. He has the lead and he is the championship contender. Rowdy, if you're going to do something, you might want to hurry, buddy, because you're a little bit away here.
Yeah, that 42 car is just becoming a speck in the distance for the 18. He's got to figure something out now. They shouldn't have to pit again. I just did some calculations, and they should be 4 to 5 laps to the good on fuel.
4 to 5 laps. All right.
So there shouldn't be too much saving involved. I think it's going to be all out. I think the only thing that's really going to shake up the running order here would be a caution if they were to get it. But I don't know. Everybody's pretty spread out. I don't really foresee any cautions anytime soon. So for now, best thing for Pendle to do is just get in the groove and run his race.
You got to believe that was strategy on Pendle's end to go in when he did, and honestly when Rowdy did too. But you got to look. If you're going to look at this from the viewers at home, you got to understand something, that when Atkins made that move, he had it made thinking, okay, I got enough time to at least get around and get time and get back in the pits and get my stuff figured out and done. But the problem is that when you're that far ahead, like what you were, but you have a guy like Pendle and Rowdy hitting at the same time, that draft could come into play and really mess up your entire race. That's exactly what it did there. But the only difference is Pendle got a quick restart, and then Rowdy followed right behind him. I don't think either of them got only 2 tires. I think they both got 4, which that's going to be even harder for Atkins to catch up. But like you said earlier, if he's as fast as he is, I don't think he'll have any troubles catching up. But if I was Rowdy right now, I would probably hold up for Atkins to come up and try to get the draft.
Yeah, it's like I mentioned earlier, sometimes intentionally linking up at these bigger tracks is the way to go, and honestly, man, I think that's the only chance that Rowdy would have at catching this 42, because he is setting sail. I mean, he's a good, 2 seconds ahead at this point, and extending that gap every lap. And Rowdy's got to think up something quick if he wants to have a chance here.
Indeed, indeed. I mean, look, let me give you a good perspective of how far he is right now, guys. Look at this. Bam. This is the hood of Hot Rod Rowdy there. Pendle is, well, let's just say he checked into the cheapest California motel and checked out quick, because that's how far away he is from Rowdy right now. Holy smokes, folks. That's a good, what, 2.5, maybe almost, maybe 2 seconds? That's about it? Sound right?
Yeah, it's got to be between 2 and 3 second gap. We don't have the exact telemetry, but that going off my experience in this game, that's a good 2 or 3 second gap, and it's growing every lap. I mean, Pendle is just flying right now. I would not be surprised if he's turning the fastest laps on the track.
And now, didn't I assign you to all the boring stuff like the math and all that, and trying to figure out like how far away certain distances are? How come you can't figure out and tell me how far away Rowdy is from Pendle, man? What did I hire you for?
Hold on, man. I'll pull up the tape measure app on my iPhone. We'll figure this out.
Wait a minute, how you gonna get on the track now? You're in the booth. Stay in the booth.
Let's see. They're going 160 mile an hour. It's about a 400-foot gap. Do the math here. Okay.
Oh, for the love of all my mercy, have. I don't know. I apologize to everyone at home. I don't know where we found this guy. And we've been dealing with this all season long, but apparently when it comes to the boring stuff, he tries to make it sound exciting, but the difference is you can't take a tape measure that far away and they're going like 200 miles per hour.
I don't even work here. I just showed up one day and they didn't say anything, so.
That explains a heck of a lot to me.
Oh, man. But we're coming up on 10 to go, and running order is pretty much staying the same. Pendle's still continuing to pull away little by little every single lap. And
no surprise there, though. But man, I'll say this real quick. Pendle last night, when he ran the Cup Series, he had a horrible break where he got a little bit loose coming out of turn 2 and at Michigan, of all things. And unfortunately, it actually cost him the race, because you saw in the live stream and the broadcast here, Dial had pretty much just left him, and he was trying to get a bit of a draft going with somebody else to try and hopefully get back up in that top spot, but unfortunately it did not work out that way with the amount of laps they had and where they were at on the track, and Dial ended up winning the season championship that time. I gotta believe that going into this race, I think Pendle had a little bit more of an edge and a little more focus in him to finally get that monkey off his back and win another season championship.
Absolutely, and I mean, he's making it happen. He, he's pulling away every single lap, just hitting his marks every time. There's not much more to say. I mean, he's just absolutely dominating right now. The pit sequence definitely worked out in his favor, and at this point, unless we get a freak caution, there's nothing these guys can do. They're just watching him sail away, helpless to do anything about it, which is one of the worst feelings if you're on the losing end of that, but one of the best feelings if you're Pendle.
Indeed, there. And I'm going to be honest with you, like, the way everybody has been spread apart, like, that really was just because of the way the pits were and how it was off the restart. Pendle had a tremendous restart out of the gate as soon as he got out of there, and that cost Rowdy big time. And right now you can get a good look at the battle here. Sparkalicious, number 90, going to do battle with the HD Nicer in 35. Two drivers, in my opinion, that are due for a win, and eventually, for one of them especially, they're really just due to break out in the next season. So, again, keep an eye on these two right here specifically, HD Nicer and Sparkalicious, because I feel like going into the next season, you might start hearing their names a little bit.
Oh, definitely. And now we got Sparkalicious making a move on the outside of the 2-car.
The old Naughty Milk Duds. Don't worry, folks. We made sure he wasn't under the influence when he got on the track tonight. Oh, look at this here, folks. Pottles, number 5. She's actually pulled away off the track. I'm not sure what's going on there.
She spun out.
She spun out?
Yeah, she clipped the apron coming out of the turn and then navigated down to the apron so she could get back up to speed. It was a good call getting down on the apron there and making sure she was out of the racing group, but an unfortunate mistake late in the race. Looks like she's going to opt to pit for new tires. At this point, nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose, everything to gain, and right now, unless there's a caution that comes out, I don't think they have anything to worry about. We're coming down on the last 9 laps here, or excuse me, 8 laps, and right now, I mean, granted, there's not a whole lot of battling going on out there, but right now, HC Nicer, number 35, currently trying to make something work. He's trying to get that 7th spot off of Naughty Milk Does number 2, and Sparkalicious, number 90, currently holding out 6, but the battle, like we said, is really nowhere to be found because No Shift Pendle, he has just been absolutely creaming this track, making it look stupid easy and just gaining more and more time off of Rowdy. But my question also is he careful of his tire wear? Because, you know, if you set those tires too much and you burn them up too quick, it's pretty easy to get loose. But I think right now he's pretty much held off everything.
Right, and I almost wonder if Rowdy's not saving a little bit. You know, maybe they were closer on fuel than our calculations led us to believe, and Rowdy just kind of is saving right now because he is dropping back a ton every lap. And I mean, you guys saw how close they were in pace earlier. Interestingly, I don't know if you're seeing this here, Crusader, but it looks like Pendle has a little bit of front end damage. It doesn't seem to be affecting him any, obviously, but I gotta wonder where he got that damage.
If I had to guess, he probably, right at this, from when he got out of the pits wise, you might have seen it on the screen here. He actually got into it a little bit with HD Nightster. HD Nightster had, no, I'm not going to say anything bad about his pitting, but unfortunately his crew chief didn't quite bring him in quite the right way. And they ended up getting together, Pendle and HD Nightster, but as you said before, it looks like it's not doing anything to him because it looks like, if anything, it's actually making him faster. He's just blowing by this track and just getting this win in as he goes.
Absolutely. Shout out to Ken in the chat. He just popped in to say hello. He was unfortunately unable to commentate tonight. Had some family obligations, which is totally understandable. I myself had to miss commentating for the truck race due to the same scenario. So we feel for you, man. Hopefully you had a good time with your family. And we're glad to see you in the chat.
It's good to see you, Ken. Hope you're doing okay, bud. And definitely can't wait to see how you do next season. And for those wondering when next season is, well, guess what? Season 6, it happens to start right next week on Sunday nights.
And we won't waste any time getting the show on the road here.
Yep. The best truck drivers in the rookie series will do battle at Michigan for the very first race of the season. Now, just a heads up, and we're going to make this clear right now, it's not a full-length season. This will be something new we're doing because of the fact we have something new coming in about a month or so, and we will be doing only a half season. So you'll have 5 races in total, which means it's going to be a shootout to even think about getting into the top 4 that time around. If I had to place my money on anybody to get there, honestly, like you'd have a better chance going to the casino and gambling on a slot machine. There's no way you could figure out who is going to even come close to being in the top 4 and get the win in, just because of the amount of talent, the amount of races that will be put on display for season 6. It's going to be a shootout to say the least.
Oh, for sure. And when you have so few races in a season, one bad race could be all it takes to knock you out of contention, you know. So it's gonna be one of those deals where you have to be almost inhumanly consistent if you want to have a shot at it.
Absolutely, indeed. But you know what? If you're going to race your race, man, you might as well go out with a bang, right?
Absolutely.
So before we end the night, because we're coming down to our final 3 laps here, but. And obviously Pendle right now, unless he makes a mistake, I don't think he's going to give this one up. But I believe you missed out on some fun facts.
I did.
Want to know a few things.
So normally it's Ken with the fun facts about the state that the track is in. And he went ahead and sent me some. I haven't found the time to fit them into the broadcast, but let me pull them up real quick. So we got about 3 laps to go in this race, and here's some fun facts.
2 to go, just heads up.
2 to go. All right, close enough. All right. So in California, and this is according to Ken, so don't quote me on this. Quote him. You may not fart in a public place after 6 p.m. And the second fun fact is people cannot sell oranges on the streets of Miami. Anyone who violates this law will spend up to 30 days in jail. Now I feel like there's a story behind that law. I couldn't tell you what the story is. But don't go selling your oranges in Miami. Anyway, I believe that's the white flag they just took, right?
The white flag has indeed come out. And they're going to come across the finish line here. And J.D. Atkins looks like he's going to take second place away from Rowdy to the finish line here. Rowdy has lost power. He's out of fuel coming down to the finish line here.
I believe that was the race.
No, he was out of fuel before he came to the finish line, my friend.
Oh, wow. So I guess they were closer on fuel than we'd assumed. That's crazy. And Pendle, of course, he has a clutch. He's able to save very well. And he's going to go ahead and take it home.
Well, we might as well take it home real quick. I should have gave him a proper shout out. So, ladies and gentlemen, season 5. He last night had a tough break, couldn't quite get it. This time around, not so much. No, Shift Pendle has come out on top for the Xfinity Season 5 Championship. And what a way to go out. J.D. Atkins following in second. He had a great race car tonight. Didn't quite get it in there. Had a tough break on the pit and maybe just didn't quite work out in the strategy-wise. And then Rowdy ran out of fuel, unfortunately, and that cost him big time. But you know what? It is what it is. Well, I can't wait to talk to those 3 drivers. But as we mentioned before, folks, on the Truck Series and the Cup Series, we're going to do a little something special for you guys. We're going to have a little fun on the track and let our good friend Pendle have a little burnout session for us. But before all that, we got J.D. Atkins in the booth now. J.D., congratulations on a top 3 finish. You managed to hold out for quite a long time now. But the second place finish here tonight, and looked like you got up to Rowdy there. What was going through your mind when you saw him coming up closer and closer on the final laps?
Just thinking about what went wrong to get me there, honestly.